adrenaline addiction, metal chorus blare, ain't no friction fiction. Drafting on the homies, camaraderie's the trigger. Slides on the track, bombs ready, yeah we bigger. Brother dreams chasing speed and money. Engines roar loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Hit stop hustle, seconds ticking like grenades. Oil stained glory, history never fades. Helmet and visor, it's a warrior's enchantment. Every turn a gamble, every lap a commitment. Crowds roar, amplifies high octane behavior. Victory they sharp, savoring the flavor. Wind in the helmet, destiny's a blur. Burning rubber dreams, all senses concur. Brother dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roar loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Running from the dreams, chasing speed and light. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back in as we get ready to rock and roll here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. As drivers are ready to go to battle, they are ready to duke it out here at the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It is Sin City here this afternoon, and drivers are looking to gamble, looking to try to cash in and pick up a big payday here this afternoon, looking to try to cash in a checkered flag and put themselves into the win column here this afternoon. As each and every one of these drivers are out on the racetrack, they're getting their last few moments here under this warm-up session, as we do see the Bang Energy number 77 ride of Brian Underwood. He's parked down there. He's got a little damage there on that car. He's parked down by the ambulance. Hopefully everything is okay there for Mr. Underwood. We do see Blackwood out there on the speedway. Is Blackwell out there running smoothly on the speedway? Noah Blackwell, in fact, in that 18 run, getting a little loose right there, kicking that rear end out, maybe getting up into the outside fence just ever so slightly. Is Nick Jensen out there? He's gonna get some hard hits in there. He's going to wash back up the racetrack. He's going to come into the number 4 ride right there, the Texas A&M Prestige Enterprises ride. Reese Kelva going to get some pretty good damage there off of that, but luckily enough, this is just practice, so these drivers don't have to worry too much out there on the speedways. The Red Bull number 57 ride, Grant Applegate, he's out there on the racetrack. He's ready to rock and roll. He wants to try to put himself up into victory lane again here this afternoon. The 22 of Michael Ponder Jr. out there in that Shell Pennzoil number 22 ride. He's currently sitting in 21st right now, as each and every one of these drivers trying to set themselves up, ready for a big day, looking for a good race and a solid performance to maybe see if they can put themselves up into victory lane. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as these drivers ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here in this one. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a very interesting race to see how these drivers are going to be able to, battle out there on the racetrack and see if they can put themselves into a winning situation on the racetrack. As it's going to be a gamble, man. There's going to be tires that you're going to need to use up. You're going to have a couple stage breaks to try to use that pit cycle, the pit strategy, to put yourself into a good situation out there on the speedway. Is Underwood still down there by the pit wall here, still down low here, as we do see Ethan Greek back out there in the Tracker Boats number 3. Ryan William Bogart out there as well in the Flex Seal number 71. Zach Perry, the 76 Bush Lockday ride, he jumps out there onto the racetrack as it looks like we got about 22 drivers loaded into the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win here this afternoon as practice does come to a close. That means qualifying about to get underway. As Reese Calva, Texas Calva over there on YouTube coming in, showing the love, says, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, says Reese. Yes, Sirski, you know it, brother. And that's what it's all about. Having some fun, having a good time, enjoying some great racing out there on the Speedway. And, man, Vegas always so fun out there on the racetrack, man. So many good lanes, so many different ways around the racetrack, and obviously we see a lot of drivers when we go back to green flag, when we see these restarts in, even the initial start, we're going to see a lot of 2, 3, 4, maybe even a little 5 wide out there on the racetrack, especially down the front straightaways. Drivers going to try to take advantage of all the big runs that they can get, trying to take advantage of the fresher tires as soon as they can, but it's going to come down to potentially maybe some long green flag runs, where now you need to get into a whole different gear plan things you're going to be thinking of out there on the racetrack. You can kind of build your setup to try to have a short run speed or try to have that long run speed. Trying to take care of the tires, trying to take care of the car, and just be there at the end. You don't need to lead every lap. You just need to lead the last one that counts the most, and that's that final lap to put yourself up and into victory lane. So these drivers, they know how to get it done. Now it's all about getting it done. You gotta be perfect. You can't make any mistakes out there. And if you do make a mistake, you gotta hope it's early on. If you have a mistake and it's late in this race, you could be back, in 20th position, 15th position. You can be out of this race in a heartbeat if you make that late race mistake. A pit road speeding penalty, going too far through your pit box, something simple just as that could cost you an opportunity to win here today. And for some of these drivers, the gambles that could unfold out there on the racetrack, some of these drivers maybe being the little bit of the underdog out there, maybe having the better odds on the gambling end of things to try and win some money here. There's probably some big hitters out there that potentially could hit big if we had a live gambling app here in Vegas. There'd be no better place for it as Trent Johns up there in that number 2 ride. The M&M's machine currently sits in 4th as Aiden Lucas. For a second was the quickest car out there on the racetrack, but Michael Durham Jr., he jumps into the top spot. Never mind, he gets knocked into the top spot. It's now the HendrickCars.com number 51 of Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson now fastest out there on the racetrack. Michael Durham Jr. slides back to second. Aiden Lucas back to third. Logan Perriman, Zach Perry, Trent Johns, Noah Blackwell, Mike Corveo, hopefully I'm saying that right. Mike did message me the other day, the other week, and he dropped in and said how to correctly pronounce his last name. Corivo. I don't know if he pronounces the I as an E or the I as an I. Corivo there in the 46 ride currently sits in position number 9. Evan Stewart, he's out there on the racetrack in that Majors Garage number 37 ride. He's currently 8th quickest as he moves forward a little bit farther. Mike, unfortunately, back there in 10th is Joe David up into position number 14. Reese Calvo right there behind him as we see a few more drivers left that try to jump out there and lay down some quick times here this afternoon as we do see Ethan Greek out there on the racetrack as Cryptic says, let's get it, baby. How are you, Dylan? Mr. Carrier coming in, showing the love as Jimmy Six Times in the house as well, says PSCRL is here. Yes, Sirski, you are here. You are ready to see some great racing action, and a lot of our premium stock car racing league drivers again in attendance here tonight is the 1776 Motorsports Flex Steel 71 ride. William Bogart looking to try to lay down a quick time here, seeing if he can try to slide up that leaderboard, maybe put himself into that pole position here this afternoon. We'll see where William can kind of slide himself into as he's going to get his lap started. Ethan Greek down the back straight away as Jimmy Six Times says, and premium stock car racing league is like 90% of the league. It's pretty close. And if it wasn't drivers that weren't part of it, they are part of it now, or they are drivers that used to be a part of it that we've seen out there quite a lot. You know, obviously Matthew Wood, he's still a part of the league, but not racing fully. Same with Evan Stewart here and there. And then, you know, you got a couple of drivers like Nick Jensen and Joe David, Mike Corevo there. I'm not sure if he's raced with us or not there, but there's definitely a lot of them. Keegan Huey, Jason Bogart, Ethan Greek. There's a few out there that I don't think we've seen, or at least for my time as the broadcaster there, but nonetheless, it's going to be a lot of fun. As Jimmy Six Times says, when I recover from my back surgery, I'll be racing. We can't wait. We can't wait, brother. As Brian Underwood says, we will be running to the finish this week. No I'm having a stroke. Obstacles this week. No obstacles this week for Brian Underwood, and that is a great thing right there. Last week was a wreck fest, boring. No wonder some people just pulled off. Yeah, unfortunately, it happens. It happens. You know, you just never know how they go, especially first race of a season or anything else. You know, you can always run into problems, but 2448 Aviation says, wish me luck, going to try and get a good finish in the 42 ride. The 42 machine, Nick Jensen, coming in showing the love, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here this afternoon, ready to try to put himself up and into victory lane here in this one, as we'll get these drivers locked and loaded, ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here. Is starting on the pole in the number 51. It is the HendrickCars.com 51 ride of Wyatt Mickelson. To his outside in the 00, it's the Vegas Ignite? Is that what that says? I don't know. The pole is blocking one of the letters. I feel like it says Ignite. 00 ride. That is Michael Durham Jr. starting there in position number 2. Starting in the 3rd spot in the Goat Eye Racing. Goat. It's diecast, right? Goat Racing Diecast number 34 ride there in position number 3. Logan Perryman is going to start there in position number 4. Zach Perry in the Busch Light number 76 ride will round out our top 5 to his outside in that Jimmy Johnson inspired paint scheme there. It is the lowest number 16 of Matthew Wood. Starting in position number 7 in the M&M's number 2, the Interstate Batteries ride, that is Trent Johnson to his outside in that 37 machine. That is the Majors Garage, the 4 Motorsports machine. That is Evan Stewart rounding out our top 8. On the inside, a row number 5 in the 18 ride. That is the Bad Dragon number 18 and Noah Blackwell in rounding out our top 10 in that 46. The beautiful throwback paint scheme here. That is a beautiful looking ride out there on the racetrack. Obviously not the City Ford or City Chevrolet one that we normally see out there on the racetrack, but still a beautiful looking Camaro nonetheless for Mike Corevo. Is Corevo going to start there in that 10th position, starting back in 11th in the 23, the Columbia ride? That is Ryan Holler to his outside in the number 42. That is Nick Jensen in the Sands Fanta number 42 ride. Starting in position at number 13 in the 74 ride, that is AG's Designs. Number 74 of Jaden Porter to his outside will be the number. The outside lane's not moving very quickly here. I do believe it is the number 6 machine that will start to his outside of Joe David. And then we see that 4 ride. That is the number 4 Reese Calva. To his outside will be the 6 machine. That is the 6 ride of, nope, where is... Yeah, this is the 38 ride, of Keegan Huey. Then we see Ethan Greek up there as well in that 17th position. Michael Potter Jr., Keegan Huey, William Bogart, Grant Applegate back in 22nd, and Brian Underwood bringing up the rear of the field here at the back of the pack. So a tough break there. A couple of these drivers starting at the rear of the field here this afternoon is Wyatt Mickelson, Michael Durham Jr. getting ready to go to battle. It's down through the Gutco restart zone. We will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Wyatt Mickelson will lead us down into quarter number 1, rounds that second quarter and down the back straightaway, looking to try to open up a little bit of a lead, but here comes that 34 of Aiden Lucas. Lucas looking to take a big run down the back straightaway, taking a peek down to the inside of that 51 ride. Mickelson trying to hold on to the top spot here as he's looking to lead lap number 1 here in Sin City. Is down across the line. It's Mickelson who leads the first lap here this afternoon. Aiden Lucas there in second as Zach Perry trying to hold on to that third position as here comes Matthew Wood. Wood right there in that Lowe's number 16 ride. Already put the pressure onto the back bumper of that 1776 Motorsports ride as here comes that number 00 machine. Michael Durham Jr. trying to race his way back up here after early on falling back a couple spots there from the outside of the front row, almost back into that fifth position as he battles door to door with Matthew Wood for position number 4. Trent Johns back there behind him in that 6th spot with Noah Blackwell now into 7th. Logan Perriman unfortunately sliding a little farther backwards here as the 99 up on the outside groove. Unfortunately, he is falling backwards in a quick hurry, already down 5 positions and now into that 9th spot on the racetrack. Here comes Evan Stewart. Stewart looking to try to get 1 spot back here early on in this race as he wants to move around that 99 ride who's struggling early on here, but could potentially be a little bit of strategy out of that 99 machine, just trying to save a little tires out there. Trying to save a little tire, trying to keep yourself out of trouble, trying to keep that car pointing in the right direction, but having that long run speed and having tires late in the run could potentially mean a good finish in this first stage or not, as we are going to see a couple stage breaks here this afternoon. Stage breaks will be on lap number, I do believe it's 25 and maybe 30 and 65, I feel. Something like that. We got to go back up and take a look here. There's so many different channels. Where we at here? Race info, there it is. Yeah, lap 30. At the completion of lap number 30 will be the end of stage number 1. Lap 65 is the completion of stage number 2. So 30 and 65 here for those stages, and that's going to be in the back of each and every one of these drivers' minds. Probably about a 30-lap run for each of those stages, so you don't really have to save too much in these stages. You want to run hard, you want to gain positions, trying to get that track position and try to set yourself up to try and earn some great stage points here this afternoon. And if you're a driver out in front like Wyatt Mickelson, Aiden Lucas, Matthew Wood, some of these drivers that are currently in a striking zone without seeing some caution flags, they know they just want to kind of hang on to these positions and maybe try to battle for that stage win, as they are 3 wide back there behind this top 5 battle. Trenton Johns on the outside lane. That's Noah Blackwell in the middle in the 23. Ryan Holler right down to the inside as the 2 car will clear them both down the front straightaway, and he will move into position number 6. Blackwell there in 7th is the 23. Ryan Holler going to fall back into the grasp of a couple more fast cats here as you start to see some more drivers working their way up towards the front of the field, one of those being Grant Applegate. Applegate early on already up 9 spots on the racetrack, and he sits now in 11th on the Speedway. So that number 57 ride, the Red Bull machine, it's got some wings here today, as it is a 747, and it is a complete rocket ship out there on the racetrack, working himself up through the traffic and towards the top 10 in a quick hurry. As we do see Evan Stewart right there as well, we see Mike Coravu there in position number 12. Then we see William Bogart, Dylan Carrier, Jaden Porter there in that 15th position. Nick Jensen in that 16th spot with Brian Underwood up 5 spots in the 77 ride. That bang ride looking to have a banger of a day and trying to pick up a big checkered flag here this evening as he rolls back in 17th. Joe David there in 18th with Reese Calva, Michael Ponder Jr., Keegan Huey, and it is Ethan Greek bringing up the rear of the field in that number 3 machine. As Ethan Greek unfortunately did go for a little bit of a spill here. Him and the 38 run get tied together. Let's take a look back and see what happens. They make some contact right there. The 3 run trying to get a big run down to the inside. Unfortunately comes down over the nose of that 38. They make some pretty solid contact right there. Luckily enough, both drivers do not go around. They both keep themselves pointed in the right direction as we see a pass at the front of the field and a new race leader. Matthew Wood will take the race lead away. Wood now out in front is Wyatt Mickelson. Slides back into position number 2. Aiden Lucas there in 3rd is... oh, brother, it looks like we're going to see our first caution flag of the day. Our first yellow flag is going to be displayed here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As we take a look back, we're going to see some issues for Ryan Holler. Holler on the hauler, trying not to be on the hauler here this afternoon, but looks like he's going to unfortunately just get down onto the apron right there, gets the car bent out of shape, and at the same point in time as he's getting bent out of shape, the 57 Ryan also getting up into the outside fence and then nowhere to go right there. Brian Underwood ends up slamming into the side of him there, helping that 23 car go around, stop there on the racetrack, and that's where we see that yellow flag get displayed. As, man, that's a I don't know if there was oil down or something right there, because you see Applegate also making that mistake as well. Looks like the 57 just washes up the racetrack here and ends up slamming into the wall there, trying to correct it, trying to keep it pointing in the right direction. Get some pretty solid right side damage there on that Red Bull 57 machine, and unfortunately heavy damage for that number 77 ride. There's nowhere to go here for Brian Underwood. Underwood just trying to race his way up towards the front of the field, trying to keep that car clean, and unfortunately early on here going to run into some problems. Let's jump right on board here with Underwood as he sees a couple drivers getting into the fence. He tries to move down through the middle. Unfortunately, Haller just moves back down the racetrack there, obviously handling issues, and slams into the side of that 77 car. Heavy damage for both drivers, and early caution flag here at Las Vegas to really spice things up, to make things go to the next level here this afternoon. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and enjoying the racing action here early on this afternoon, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Become part of that family right now. So hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, as we're live over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, some drivers have headed down pit side, like Ryan Haller, Ethan Green, Keegan Huey, Brian Underwood, Grant Applegate. A lot of these cats came down pit road looking to get their cars repaired, trying to get them back into one piece here. We see Applegate still down on pit lane, trying to get some service done to that 57 right. That crew is going to work, trying to get that thing pointed back in the right direction. Reese Calva out there on the speedway as well. Reese, unfortunately, looks like he's already at least a lap down out there on the speedway, and Ryan Haller still down pit side as well, getting some extensive repairs done to that 23 machine as he sits back in 22nd on the speed charts. As right now, Ramron coming in, showing the love over there on Facebook. Ramron says, let's go 1776, Jason and Zach. As Paige also coming in, showing the love, says, go Zach and go Jason. As Jimmy 6 times says, let's go Brian Underwood. He's my daddy. He's your daddy. Oh no, that's not good. That's unfortunate right there. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. But he says, but it'll be hard to beat Dylan Carrier. He's the fastest car on the track. And he's got real-life racing experience, too, so it's always tough to beat Dylan Carrier whenever he's out there. He's got that real-life experience, and for the Phoenix Esports number 31 ride, he's looking to take that real-life experience and try to bring it to the front of the field here. We'll see if he can try to get it done here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, or if he'll be down and out, down bad here this afternoon or not. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out for that 31 machine, as he's going to be looking to try to race his way up to the front of the field. Right now, up 7 spots, one of our hard chargers on the afternoon. Him and William Bogart both up 7 spots early on in this race. The 57 rider, Grant Applegate, was looking to be that hard charger. Unfortunately for Applegate, getting tied up there into the outside fence. Some good damage there on that Red Bull number 57 ride, and now back at the rear of the field as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. It's Matthew Wood out in front who will see this green flag fly, and we'll go back to battle here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we inch closer to about that halfway point here of this first stage. Lap 30 will be the end of stage number 1. We'll see a caution flag. We'll get them all stacked back up again, and then about another 30 lap run to lap 65 to complete stage number 2, where we're going to hand out some bonus points for all these drivers inside the top 10 to help them towards their opportunity at racing for this championship in a few short months. As here we go, back to green flag racing. That number 16 of Matthew Wood quickly onto the lap pedal. It's Wood out in front, the Lowe's Camaro at the front of the field here. Very Jimmy Johnson-esque and looking to try to dominate and run away with this race early on as Wyatt Mickelson there in position number 2. Aiden Lucas back there in third. He's yet to find his way around that 51 right as Mickelson has been able to hold him off, but wasn't able to hold off Matthew Wood so far in this race. Michael Durham Jr. right there as well, as there's a little contact back there behind him. Look out, Bogart up into the outside fence ever so slightly there after contact between him and Mike Koravu, as Koravu unfortunately getting a piece of him right there. Some pretty solid contact. Luckily enough, both drivers able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction as you see Dylan Carrier now inside the top 10. He's up into that 8th position of 9 spots now on the racetrack as he's worked himself around Logan Perriman, and here comes William and Jason Bogart there, as well as Jason Bogart in that 10th spot on the Speedway now. As here comes Mike Corriveau back there in 11th, Jaden Porter there in 12th, Evan Stewart sitting there in 13th with Ethan Greek, Joe David right there behind him. Brian Underwood in that Bang 77 ride back in 16th with Nick Jensen in that 42 there in 17th. As you see a couple drivers head down the racetrack, here is look out. We have one driver sideways in the middle of the Speedway, two drivers sideways, and Trenton Johns around the 46 of Mike Corriveau also turned sideways there on the racetrack is the 22Q.org ride. Running into some problems here. Let's take a look back and see what happens. And if these two get tied together, it looks like Trenton Johns, the first one to potentially go around here, maybe getting tied up here. Sliding backwards, looks like he's going to get a little loose, maybe a little... Nope, just gets a little scare right there, and just gets loose out of core number 2. Just barely avoiding contact there with Dylan Carrier, but unfortunately, as that car bounces off the outside fence, comes back down the racetrack here. Nowhere to go here. Mike's just trying to avoid him, tries to shoot down the racetrack. Unfortunately, the 2 ride sliding down there as well ends up clipping that 46 machine. Pretty heavy damage for both of those drivers. And look at Ethan Greek somehow or another sliding his way right through there. That had to be a close call there for Ethan Greek, because that car was inches away from disaster out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get another look at this one, as Greek was right there trying to slide through there, and the gap closed up in a quick hurry. Luckily enough, he found another one. Look at this. Bam. Oh, a little shake and bake right there, and able to dodge cars and keep himself clean out there on the Speedway and keep that AG's Designs Cabela's Toyota machine out of trouble, as we'll get all these drivers back down pit road here. You see Grant Applegate looking to get more repairs. Same with Mike Corriveau, Trent Johns down pit side as well. All these drivers trying to get their cars fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack, as Matthew Wood continues to lead the way as another caution flag here, and that's going to get us even closer to the end of stage number 1. Is Zachary Smith, Zacadec coming in, showing the love here. Zachary Smith coming in with that sub over there on YouTube, becoming a brand new subscriber there on the YouTube channel. And Ramrod 340X also coming in, becoming a brand new subscriber here on Peacemaker Gaming over there on the YouTube channel. Zachary, Ramrod, welcome to the Peacemaker family, coming in and becoming brand new subscribers here on the channel. Is Matthew Wood out in front? He's looking to try to pick up this stage win, but he's going to have to try to hold Wyatt Mickelson, Aiden Lucas, and the rest of this field off here. And now we're going to start to see, a little bit of the strategy. Obviously, we haven't had as many green flag laps as I think a lot of these drivers would have liked to have had here in this first stage. Obviously, some of those drivers that got tore up are already having to use repairs and going down pit side for multiple trips. So when you look at Grant Applegate and Trent Johns, Mike Corriveau now, and some of these other drivers that are, have been down pit side for an extended period of time, like Ryan Haller, multiple laps down back there in 22nd here. Not the way he wanted to start this race. Same with Mike out there, as well as Grant Applegate. These drivers just definitely not getting the starts to the day that they were hoping for, but there's still a lot of time, still a lot of racing action left to be had, still lots of opportunities for drivers to try to get waiver rounds or get their cars repaired and get back into the action here this evening. So it's not over until it's over. Still a lot of racing action. We're early on in this race. And for that 16 ride of Matthew Wood, he's going to be looking for another big restart, another opportunity to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay, trying to hold them off. As Brycey Bear, Bryce Dickinson, Brycey Bear coming in, show the love. How are you, Brycey Bear? Bryce coming in, dropping that thumbs up over there on Facebook. How are you, brother? How are you, Mr. Dickinson? Showing the love here this afternoon. How are you, mister? How you doing? How are you? How's the fam? How's life, brother? How you doing? As we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The official iRacing pace car will get ready to make that left-hand turn back down pit road, as Matthew Wood out in front, getting ready for another big restart, is down through the Geico restart zone. He will get ready to put the hammer down with Aiden Lucas all over his back bumper. Aiden is not letting off that back bumper here, pushing him down the front straightaway, trying to make sure he's right there, trying to get a great jump. Unfortunately, didn't get the launch that he was hoping for, as the 16 16 ride blows his doors off and quickly clears the field and leads us back down into corner number 1. As they're 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, back there behind him. Everybody trying to battle their way to the front of the field as Aiden Lucas again trying to find his way around Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson trying to hold on to that second spot as here comes that 1776, number 76 of Zach Perry there on the inside. Perry trying to hold on to that 4th position. The 00 of Michael Durham Jr. looking to take it away. And now here comes that Phoenix Esports 31 of Dylan Carrier. Carrier up 11 positions and now into that 6th position. Just 1 spot shy of racing his way up and into the top 5 here early on in stage number 1. He's got his teammate Noah Blackwell right there behind him is Jason Bogart back there in 8th. Then we see Logan Perriman there in 9th and Evan Stewart rounding out our top 10 on the racetrack. That is our final points position here in stage number 1. You want to be inside the top 10 to at least earn yourself a point to go towards potentially making or breaking your season out there on the racetrack. And every single one of these points is going to add up and going to make it that much more interesting. And here we go, 3 wide here at Las Vegas. It is the driver with real-life racing experience, the 31 of Dylan Carrier down low, taking it 3 wide and looking to try to steal position number 4 away from the 76 of Zach Perry in the 00 of Michael Durham Jr. As they kind of get a little bound together right there, that's going to bring the 18 of Noah Blackwell, the 99 right of Logan Perriman, and that 71 right into the battle here as they try to race their way up inside the top 5 as they're still door to door here for that 5th position. Dylan Carrier trying to take it away from Zach Perry. Perry not wanting to give it up, and now here comes Perriman. Perriman up on the outside lane, finding some great runs there, and he is quickly putting his name back into contention here as he was falling backwards there for quite a while. Now starting to battle his way back up to the front. Maybe saving that little bit of tire early on in this race. Maybe now trying to use it to his advantage, trying to race his way back up to the front of the pack. Is in front. It is still that 16 ride of Matthew Wood. Wood continues to lead the way as they're still door to door for position number 2, but now it looks like that 34 right of Aiden Lucas. He was thinking about falling in line, but nope, dives right back down low to the inside of that 51 ride is Wyatt Mickelson right there within striking distance here. We're closing in on the end of the stage, and these drivers are closing in to the back bumper of that Lowe's Camaro. Unfortunately there for Dylan Carrier, he does end up sliding back into that 7th position as Noah Blackwell does get around him, and now Logan Perriman unfortunately getting a little high there in corner number 1 and 2. He'll stay back in that 8th position. Bogart there in 9th. Evan Stewart trying to hang on to that 10th spot as here comes Brian Underwood down to his inside. Underwood looking to move into that 10th spot, looking for at least a stage point here this afternoon as we inch closer and closer to the end of this stage. As Bryce says, life is life, laugh out loud, still working like a dog. Brother, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? I think I'm on, I don't even know what, day 6 or 7, something like that. Ugh. Man, I did not want to wake up this morning. I did not want to have to go to work, and then I'm at work, and I'm supposed to be working a 8 a.m. to 1 o'clock. Supposed to be a short day on a Sunday, and the guy that was supposed to come in and take over at 1 o'clock ended up calling in sick, so then I ended up having to stay late, and luckily enough, I was still able to get out there and out of there, earlier than 6 o'clock when they closed, but ended up having to stay till 3. Luckily enough, got back for our other broadcast. So you do see that 77 ride of Brian Underwood starting to move his way up through the top 10. He is now our hard charger up 15 positions there in 7th as Dylan Carrier breaks his way inside the top 5. Bogart right there with him in that 6th position as Matthew Wood continues to lead the way, but he's got a race on his hands as that 51 ride of Wyatt Mickelson is not letting him run away with it. Mickelson's right there within striking distance here. One slip up, one mistake out of that 16 ride, and he could give up this stage win in a heartbeat as Aiden Lucas there in 3rd. Blackwell now into the 4th spot here as Dylan Carrier hangs on to position number 5. But here comes Bogart. Here comes Underwood. Underwood down low trying to work himself around Bogart out there on the speedways. That 1776 Motorsports ride going to slide back into 7th. Zach Perry there in 8th trying to hold on to that 8th spot as Logan Perriman trying to take it away, and here comes Trent Johns as well. Johns down low. He's looking for a big run back up into inside the top 10 as Evan Stewart there in 11th. Michael Durham Jr. unfortunately falling all the way back now into position number 12. Ethan Greek, Keegan Huey there in 14th. Joe David, Reese Kelva, Mike Coravu there in position number 17. Grant Applegate, who was looking very fast early on in this run, got into that outside fence, got some damage. He's back now into that 18th spot with Nick Jensen, Michael Ponder Jr., Jaden Porter, and Ryan Haller bringing up the rear of the field. But it's Matthew Wood out in front, and Wyatt Mickelson still trying to hold on to that second spot. Unfortunately, starting to fall a little farther away from that 16 machine as the laps close down at the end of stage number 1. As down the back straightaway into corner number 3, nice and easy down and out of number 4. One more shot for the 51 ride. He closes the gap. It's going to be a drag race back down to the line. Who's it going to be? It's Matthew Wood by a fender, able to pick up the first stage win of the afternoon. So the first stage win goes to Matthew Wood here this evening as Mickelson will settle in for second. Aiden Lucas, Dylan Carrier, Noah Blackwell, Brian Underwood, they're in 6th with Jason Bogart, Zach Perry, Trent Johns, and Logan Perriman rounding out our top 10. They're all earning some stage points here in stage number 1 as that caution flag will come back out and we'll get these drivers ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to green flag racing. As man, that's a pretty interesting first stage, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, baby, the intensity, I feel like it's already amped way up. It's already way up here this afternoon, and the intensity is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher out there on the racetrack, not only to make passes, but to try to hang on to your race cars. It is getting hot. It is getting furious here at the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway as these drivers are trying to play a little strategy now, looking for maybe a big gamble during this second stage. Do you try to save that extra set of tires? Do you stay out there on the racetrack, not come down pit side? Can you make it on fuel to get to the end of this next stage? I'm not sure if they're going to or not, but we'll wait and see, as I do believe this time we'll see potentially drivers head down pit road. Here comes that 16 ride, so he's looking to lead everybody down pit road, and it looks like everybody's going to follow with him here. I thought we were going to see maybe a couple drivers potentially try to make that little bit of a different strategy call. That was a great break there for that caution flag, as that is going to give the wave around here to the 23 of Ryan Haller. So Haller is going to get the lucky dog. He is going to get a lap back. Now he's going to need a couple more of those, or at least one more of those, to try to get that 23 ride back into the action here this evening. But nonetheless, some crazy action out there on the racetrack. Every one of these drivers trying to race their way to the front of the field, trying to keep themselves out of trouble, as you see all these drivers getting full set of tires onto their race car, and it's going to be a drag race back down out of the pits here. I'm not sure who's going to win this race, but it looks like it is Matthew Wood. Came down as our race leader. Looks like he'll stay the race leader with Wyatt Mickelson right there in second. Underwood with a great lap there and a great pit stop as that 77 jumps up into position number 3. Carrier back there in 4th. Noah Blackwell in position number 5. Aiden Lucas back there in 6th with Bogart there in 7th. Zach Perry, Trent Johns, and Logan Perryman going to round out our top 10 as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle. As Brian Underwood, man, after getting tied up in that first caution flag, he got some pretty serious damage getting in to that number 23 ride of Ryan Haller, but he is battling his way up to the front of the field here. Now into that 3rd position in this Hendrick Motorsports Bang 77 ride, looking very, very spicy here this evening and looking to try to race his way maybe into a big win here this evening. Dylan Carrier right there behind him has real life racing experience back there in that 4th position. We'll see if that Phoenix Esports run can navigate some of this traffic and race his way into the front of the field. Noah Blackwell right there behind him. Aiden Lucas unfortunately falling back a couple spots there with those pit stops back into that 6th position as Bogart, Perry, teammates there in position number 7 and 8 as the 1776 Motorsports crew getting ready to go back to battle. here this afternoon. So we'll get them all stacked up, door to door to door, out there on the racetrack. As these drivers get ready to go back to battle, we're going to get ready to see some more crazy action. It's probably about another 30-lap run or so here. Looks like we're going to go back to green flag racing with probably about 30 laps or so until the end of stage number 2. It's the stage number 2 will end at the completion of lap number 65 here this afternoon. So that 30-lap run, and drivers know that. They know what to expect now. They just had that 30-lap run. It was kind of broken up with a couple caution flags there, so there could still be a few question marks floating around on what these drivers are going to try to do, how the game plan is going to affect them here in this second stage, and trying to pick up that second stage win or trying to get some good stage points here in that second stage. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out and who can find their way to the front of the field if that Jimmy Johnson-inspired paint scheme, the 16 of Matthew Wood, can stay out in front and keep these drivers back there behind him and see if he can have another dominant performance out there on the racetrack. As we are back to green flag racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's Matthew Wood back onto the loud pedal. Wyatt Mickelson there in second with Brian Underwood quickly into third here, able to clear that 31 of Dylan Carrier. Carrier unfortunately cannot move down the racetrack as here comes Aiden Lucas down to his inside. Lucas looking to try to take that fourth spot away from the 31 as his teammate right there behind him. That is Noah Blackwell. Blackwell trying to hold on to that 6th position, but he's got Zach Perry rolling to his outside. Now here comes the 71. Here comes that 2 of Trent Johns is out in front. It's Matthew Wood who continues to lead the way. Wood out in front, but he is getting his money's worth here in this one. He hasn't had an easy ride as that 51 rider Wyatt Mickelson has been right there putting the pressure on him here pretty much all afternoon, and now we start to see that 77 of Brian Underwood. Underwood has found something here in that 77. I don't know what it is or what he found, but nonetheless, that car is a rocket ship, and as I say that, here comes a big run for the 31 of Dylan Carrier. Carrier down low, looking to try to get the 2 for 1 down through corner number 1 as he works that inside lane. Looks like he'll slide up and clear the 77. He'll clear that 51, and it's that 31 of Dylan Carrier now into position number 2. What a drive right there for that Phoenix Esports 31 machine. As now he tries to hunt down our race leaders that time around the start finish line. That last lap, it was the quickest lap of this race for that 31 machine, and he backs up with the exact same lap time there, but it's not the quickest anymore. Michael Durham Jr. a little farther back there in that Coca-Cola Vegas Infinite 00 machine, up and into position number 11 here. His last lap around was the quickest lap of this race, a 30.28 second lap there for Michael Durham Jr. As Matthew Wood out in front, starting to feel that pressure as Dylan Carrier right on his back bumper. Dylan looking to try to maybe take this race lead away from that Lowe's number 16 ride as Mickelson slides back there in position number 3, and Zach Perry now right there on his back bumper. Aiden Lucas back into position number 5. Brian Underwood unfortunately falling all the way back now into the 6th spot on the racetrack as Underwood was moving up there, was looking very, very strong. Unfortunately could not complete the pass on the 51 and now finds himself all the way back here in position number 6. Blackwell right there on his back bumper, and here comes Evan Stewart, Trent Johns, Michael Durham Jr., who's now up inside the top 10. That 00 right really starting to find some speed as well out of that Coca-Cola Chevrolet, excuse me there, Chad, as that 00 starting to race his way back up towards the front here as well. Logan Perriman trying to race his way back inside the top 10 here. He's looking to try to get around that 00. They both got their eyes set on that 2 ride of Trent Johns, trying to slide him outside of the top 10 as Dylan Carrier out in front, able to take that race lead away from the 16 of Matthew Wood as we get a new race leader here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The 31 of Dylan Carrier now out in front and leading this race. Looks like he's going to slide up, just barely clear that 16 ride, but a great crossover there out of Matthew Wood as Wood back down to his inside into corner number 3. A little bit of a cat and mouse game now between first and second out there on the racetrack. Drivers sliding, crossovers, everything out here on the speedway. We see another one down across the line, too close to call. I do believe they're scored it as Dylan Carrier, our race leader here on the racetrack. So Dylan Carrier out in front, continue to hold off Matthew Wood. Wood settles in here here. Did not get the run he was hoping for. Down through 1 and 2, and will settle back in that second spot. As Zach Perry up into third here as he's moved around. Wyatt Mickelson, Brian Underwood, and Noah Blackwell here as that 51 ride into position number 4 as Perry there in third. Now here comes Brian Underwood. Underwood trying to get back around him. He's our top 5 man. Man, these guys put on a heck of a show, heck of a race for us out there on the Speedway, man. These guys are having some fun out there on the racetrack, and everyone's still battling tough. Still door to door throughout the field. A good battle there. Trent Johns and Logan Perryman. This is for the 10th spot on the racetrack. These two are battling door to door. A little farther back, you see a couple more drivers battling here. That is that 74 ride of Jaden Porter, the 38 ride of Keegan Huey. They're door to door back here for the 15th spot on the Speedway as they got Mike Hoy of Corriveau there in that 16th position. Nick Jensen right there as well. He's on the outside of the top 15. Looking in, Ethan Greek, Michael Ponder Jr., Grant Applegate, unfortunately, all the way back in 21st here. Applegate, I don't know what happened to him, but all of a sudden he lost a lot of speed and he fell all the way back here to that 21st position. And for Applegate, not the way he wanted this second stage to really get underway, not how he wanted this one to play out, and he's trying to hold on to that 21st spot out there on the Speedway and hoping not to go a lap down here in stage number 2. As the laps continue to click down, we're about 20 laps away from seeing stage number 2 come to a close here this afternoon as these drivers still nose to tail at the front of the field, and they are still duking it out back there behind them. It is non-stop racing action here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're enjoying the racing action, look out. Oh, baby, the 31 right at Dylan Carrier getting loose there out of 3 and 4. And my gosh, he almost got wrecked right there. That was way too close for the 31 as you take another look at it. This car just going to kick out sideways right here. Oh, man, let's go back to the other angle. You can really see this car kick out sideways, just sliding there on the racetrack. And for the 16 rider, Matthew Wood almost getting into him here, almost creating a big wreck at the front of the field. Gets a little shot in right there, just able to get checked up and right down low underneath that 31 as Dylan does get up, pancake that outside fence. Luckily enough, not too much damage there for that 31 machine, but you see how much momentum and speed that kills for both of these drivers. The 77 of Brian Underwood quickly able to pounce right on top of that team with the 76, the 51, and here comes that 18, all looking to get around that 31 machine of Dylan Carrier. Carrier still sliding backwards now as he's back into that 6th position as Evan Stewart and that 00 ride of Michael Durham Jr. down to his inside as Durham Jr. and Evans make a little contact. Evans actually slides back even farther as he had to roll out of the throttle. Now he has Aiden Lucas around him. There goes Trent Johns and Evan Stewart. Now just trying to hold on to that 10th position as the 99 of Logan Perriman down to his inside. Perriman looking to try to take that 10th position away as here comes Joe David in that beautiful Roush Penske 4, Roush Keselowski 4, whatever they call that company. RFK now, a number 6 ride, the G Looms machine as you see the 99. Look out, Logan Perriman! Gonna get sideways on the racetrack. Caution flag back in on the racetrack. Perriman loses it out of corner number 4 here. Unfortunately, just a big slide. This is the same thing as what we saw in that 31 ride, just getting back onto the throttle out of corner number 4. Rear end just steps out and around. He's trying to correct it, trying to keep that car pointing the right direction. Unfortunately, gets into a little overcorrection right there. Does get a little contact with that outside fence, but now it's a big question on everyone else sliding in there. Luckily enough, not making contact there, not running him over, and no one else getting collected, but that is going to bring out our caution flag. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one as, woo, doggy! We're going to see stage number 2 being a real short run again here. And that just builds the intensity. Drivers know that there's not a lot of laps left to go here in this stage. And you want to try to win that stage, you got to try to put yourself into a position to do it. And being at the front of the field is the top spot to be. And to try to earn those stage points, you want to be right there in that mix. And some of those drivers that are on the outside of the top 10 now going to be trying to race their way into it. Drivers that are in the top 10 going to be trying to hold on to their position out there. And that's where we see usually a lot of great 2-wide, 3-wide, 4-wide battles out there on the racetrack. Is everyone, when the points are on the line, they get a whole lot tougher to pass out there. They're a whole lot less courteous than if we're just in the middle of a run, they may move over, allowing you just to take that preferred line and make that pass if they can see that you're running way quicker than they are, or different strategy than they are out there on the racetrack. But on one of these late race restarts, man, it's going to be anyone's game, anyone's race out there to see who can win this second stage this afternoon. The lights are still on the official iRacing pace car. We actually inch another lap closer here to seeing these drivers go back to battle. We're going to get a quick break in here. I'm going to get a quick drink into me, and then we're going to get ready to rock and roll here and go back to Green Flag Racing on Peacemaker Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that thumbs up button on the broadcast right now. It's absolutely free to do. Helps us out a ton. Jump into the comment section. Let us know who you're cheering for and who you want to see up in victory lane.
Turbocharged hawk, piston pumping like a beast. Black top jungle, feast on chaos, crave the grease. 180 miles of asphalt ain't forgiven. In this chaos-driven life, only the fearless living. Checkered flag visions, adrenaline addiction. Metal chorus blare, ain't no friction fiction. Drafting on the homies, camaraderie's a trigger. Slides on the track, bombs ready, yeah we bigger. Brother dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Pit stop hustle, seconds ticking like grenades. Oil stained glory, history never fades. Helmet and visor, it's a warrior's enchantment. Every turn a gamble, every lap a commitment. Crowds more amplifies high-octane behavior. Victory day sharp, savoring the flavor. Wind in the helmet, destiny's a blur. Burning rubber dreams, all senses concur. Rubber dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Pulling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Running with the dreams, chasing speed and light. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as the 16 ride of Matthew Wood out in front of the field here. He's got that 77 of Brian Underwood there to his outside. Is down through the Geico restart zone. About 13 laps away from seeing stage number 2 come to a close. It's quickly back onto the lap pedal. Matthew Wood getting a great launch down the front straightaway will lead us back down into corner number 1. Wyatt Mickelson right there with him, gonna go with him there and make that move around the 77, leaving Brian Underwood back in position number 3. As here comes Zach Perry. Perry there in 4th. Dylan Carrier trying to race his way back inside the top 5 as he battles door-to-door with his teammate in the 18. It's Noah Blackwell down to the inside. Aiden Lucas and Michael Durham Jr. They're door-to-door out there on the racetrack. Back down across the line here at Las Vegas Motor Speedways. Here comes Trenton Johns. The M&M's number 2 Chevrolet rolls there in that 9th position as Evan Stewart back there rounding out our top 10. He's got Keegan Huey, Joe David, Reese Calva, Jaden Porter right there behind him is Nick Jensen rounding out our top 15 on the racetrack. Ethan Greek there at 16th with Logan Perriman. Jason Bogart back in 18th. Mike Koravu there in position number 19. Michael Ponder Jr. that 22 Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet or Ford Mustang back there in position at number 19. Koravu now back into 21st as Grant Applegate will join the top 20 once again this afternoon as Ryan Haller still looking for another wave around, another caution flag here for that 23 ride, and he could be back onto the lead lap here. So potentially good news for him as we do see a battle in the front of the field in the 77 ride. Brian Underwood going to continue his drive back to the front of the field, and Underwood out in front able to take that race lead away from Matthew Wood, the first driver here today, able to complete that pass and seal the lead away from Matthew Wood. After Wood was able to get to the front of the field, that car has been picture perfect. Very Jimmy Johnson-esque, and now battling back underneath of Brian Underwood here is Underwood and Wood at the front of the field, duking it out. And now here comes Dylan Carrier. Carrier up there on the outside groove, trying to find his way around that HendrickCars.com number 51 of Wyatt Mickelson for position number 3. As that 34 right, Aiden Lucas right there, as well as we see a couple drivers down through the infield here. Grant Applegate collected. Nick Jensen in there as well. A bunch of drivers tied up. As let's take a look back here. Contact right here. Michael Ponder Jr. gonna get a little piece there of the 42, as it looked like at the 42 line, just getting a little loose here through the middle of the corner. Corner exit for Nick Jensen. He has to get checked up. The 22 line does not realize that. Gets in the back end of him. They both get tied together. Grant Applegate down low. Just innocent bystander right there. Nowhere for him to go. And all three drivers going for a spin right there. And unfortunately, all of them going to lose a ton of track position. Luckily enough, all of them probably will stay on the lead lap before this stage comes to an end, as Matthew Wood continues to lead the way. Wood out in front here with only about 8 laps left to go here in this second stage. Underwood trying to take it back away from him. Underwood was having a very good run last week. Looked to be potentially one of those drivers in contention for the race win. All of a sudden, he pulled down onto the apron, backed out of that race, as he unfortunately had to go put his kids to bed here tonight. He said that he's got the A-OK. He does not need to put the kiddos to bed here this evening. He gets no distractions and no excuses here this evening, and he is making it count. He has raced his way up to the front of the field, started back at the back of the pack in 22nd, and now rolls there in position number 2. Looking for that one more spot. Once again, looking to take this race lead back away and seeing if he can try to win stage number 2 here this evening and at least recoup and regain some of those points that he gave up last week. Is Matthew Wood at the front of the field looking for another stage win. Underwood back there in position number 2, now trying to hold off that 31 of Dylan Carriers. They make a little contact right there. Underwood got a piece of the fence. The 31 not realizing it gets a piece of him, and it opens up the door for a big run for the 18 as Noah Blackwell will roll right around both of them, and now we see Dylan Carrier getting loose not once but twice down the front straightaway. That 31 car almost going around. Maybe that damage after the contact out of corner number 2, potentially affecting that car. Lost a ton of momentum and a ton of positions as he rolls back down to the inside lane here. Trying to keep that 00 line back there at bay, trying to salvage at least a top 10 run, trying to get some points here in this stage for that 31 machine of Dylan Carrier. As he rolls back in 7th, as Matthew Wood out in front now has a 1-second gap between himself and Noah Blackwell. This race for position number 2 is not over yet, as the caution flag will come back out. Caution flag back into the air here in this one, and that may end our second stage here under the caution flag. We'll have to wait and see. I do believe that is probably going to end the stage here under the yellow, as it looks like Aiden Lucas. Oh man, Aiden was having such a good run. Strong competitor up inside the top 10 for a lot of laps here in this race, and now looks like he's just trying to make that move. You see the 31 trying to get back around them here, and he's just taking some air off of his rear end, and oh man, a little contact right there between him and that 2 right. It's getting him a little loosened up. Unfortunately, the car a little sideways there on the racetrack. The 00 of Michael Durham Jr. not really realizing it here. They make contact there between the 2 and the 34, and all of a sudden he's just that innocent bystander again down on the inside, just trying to keep his foot in the throttle, trying to get a good run in. Also the 34 line just slower in front of him, down across his nose. Heavy front end damage there for the 00. Good damage there for that 34 line, and that's where we see that caution flag come back out. So a tough break right there for Aiden Lucas. All these drivers are going to head down pit road here, except for Trent Johns. Trent is going to stay out there on the racetrack, not going to come down pit side here in that number 2 run. Maybe potentially looking to try to see if he can pick up that, first or second stage win of the day, as Bryce Dickinson, Brycey Bear says, sometimes I miss these cup races. Brycey Bear, sometimes they are so much fun, man. Sometimes they're a little bit, a little bit stale, but sometimes they are so much fun, so much great racing out there. And brother, you want to in on the action on Sunday nights here on Peacemaker Gaming, just before 8 o'clock Eastern time here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. You let me know. I'll get you in there. You can join these fellas and be in next Sunday's race and battling elbows up out there on the Speedway with each and every one of these amazing competitors. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing as Original Day says, let's go AG Motorsports. Pug says, let's go Stewart in the 37, cheered on that 37 ride here this evening. And Paige Marie says, keep it up, Zach and Jason. Zach definitely looking very strong there. We did see Jason Bogart, once drive all the way up towards the front of the field there. And I think he was trying to do a little bit of pit strategy for that 71 ride. And unfortunately here now at the back of the pack is, I do believe, Ryan Haller going to get that free pass again here. So for Haller, able to race his way now back onto the lead lap, getting some of those caution flags, not having other drivers go a lap down. And he's right back into the action, right back into the thick of it here this evening. He's back on the lead lap, ready to join this fight, seeing if he can get that 23 machine back up towards the front of the field. As Trent Johns out in front, leading the way here. I do believe the completion of lap number 65 is when we officially call this stage, and I think we're getting very, very close to it. As Hunter Butler coming in says, let's go 37. Cheered on Evan Stewart out there as well, as Stewart's got all the fans in the stands here. The Stu Club coming in, showing the love here this afternoon. We appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, showing the love. Everyone coming in already with the likes, the comments, the shares. Man, we appreciate every single one of you. And if you haven't already, it's not too late. Make sure you guys do us that favor right now. It only takes a quick second. Close the live chat, hit that thumbs up button on the stream, like the stream, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and help us out, man. Drop a couple comments. The more comments, the more reactions, and everything else that we get here on these broadcasts, the more and more viewers that it's going to pull in, and that means the more eyes in the skies, the more fans in the stands that cheer these amazing drivers on us. Here we go. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. The 2 car is going to pull down into the infield here and get some fuel, get some tires here. So he's going to take that track position and throw it right out the window as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to duke it out as Hunter Smith says, let's go Wood. Number 16. Love the Johnson scheme. Yeah, the Johnson scheme is definitely fresh, man. As a Jimmy Johnson fan growing up since I was like, I don't even know what, 10 years old, 8 years old, way back in about 2022, 2023. Started to really like Jimmy Johnson. That became my favorite before he started winning and started to be Jimmy Johnson we know today. And, being able to watch that as a young kid and as a racing fan and watch him win 5 championships in a row at so many races, man, and being able to rub it into my dad's face and all my other friends that like NASCAR, getting to rub it into their face because they didn't like Jimmy Johnson, but I did, and everyone hates a winner. And unfortunately, sometimes And the same thing goes here on iRacing. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, this is technically going to be the restart at the completion of lap number 65. So I do believe they use that caution flag there as our stage break. So I do believe they gave out the stage points before drivers came down pit road. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that's how it's going to go. As Jonathan Dean, Jonathan says 42, 42, 42 up in the chat, cheering on that 42 right out there on the racetrack. Is Hunter Butler coming in, hitting that subscribe button, becoming a brand new member of the Peacemaker family here today. Hunter, welcome to the Peacemaker fam here this evening. As here we go, back to green flag racing, our final stage of the day. I do believe this is going to be about what, 60 something laps, 50 something laps until our checkered flag. 60 something laps here, 68 laps. If I'm getting that right, maybe math is wrong. I do believe that 68 laps of racing action left here this afternoon, which is a lot of laps, a lot of time to try to race your way to the front of the field or trying to play some of that pit strategy here. As I'm assuming we're going to see these drivers have to come down pit side at least one more time, and who knows how many caution flags may fly. The action is just starting to build up. The intensity is getting ramped up out there on the speedway, and for that 16 ride of Matthew Wood, he leads this race and looking to try to run away with it. But Noah Blackwell right there in position number 2, trying to stick to his back bumper. Here comes Brian Underwood, Wyatt Mickelson still side by side back there for position number 3. As that number 31 at Dylan Carrier, that caution flag came out, saved him there as he was definitely struggling. The tires seemed like they were starting to fall off that 31 ride, and here he is battling back up into the top 5 here as he rolls down to the inside of Zach Perry. Keegan Huey now inside the top 10 as well in that 38 ride. Good to see Huey up here into the 7th position. position. Joe David there in 8th. Reese Kelva having a great run. Reese rolls there in the 9th position, and Aiden Lucas racing his way back inside the top 10. Is Evan Stewart right there in position number 11. Ethan Greek back there in 12th. Michael Durham Jr. in that 00 ride sits in position number 13 here. He's still got some pretty heavy front end damage. Looks like he's going to lose a spot right there to Jayden Porter. Porter's going to get around him. Now that 57 rider Grant Applegate's going to steal 14th away from him here. And now you do see Jason Bogart, the 1776 Motorsports, the Flex Seal, number 71 right, get right to his back bumper as him in that 46. Mike Koravu, door-to-door there on the racetrack. And back there behind that 42 rider Nick Jensen, rounding out our top 18 with Michael Ponder Jr. there in 19th. Logan Perriman back in position number 20 with Ryan Haller, and Trent Johns there as two drivers tied together down through the infield. They roll back up onto the racetrack. No caution flag as Mike Koravu and William Jason Bogart getting tied together. Both drivers going for a wild ride down through the infield. No caution flag. They'll get their cars pointed back in the right direction and keep on rolling, as it looks like the 71 ride, maybe, as we've seen it multiple times here this afternoon, just getting loose down low on the bottom side of the racetrack here on corner exit. And no, it looks like he just gets up a little too high. He gets up a little too far, and unfortunately he's going to tag that outside fence, come back down the racetrack over the nose of that 46 ride, and that's where they get tied together. Unfortunate contact there for both cats. Some good damage for both of them there. Luckily enough, both able to get pointed back in the right direction. They do lose a bunch of positions, a lot of track time out there. Now really hoping to see that caution flag, as right now Bogart is about 16 seconds back away from the pack here. And for Mike Koravu, he's about 11 seconds away from the rear of this field, as the rear there in that 20th position. The 22 rider Michael Ponder Jr. back there in 20th. That was a couple easy passes for him, a couple extra spots out there on the racetrack. Not hoping to see a caution flag, but hoping to see more drivers run into that same circumstance for him to be able to gain some extra positions out there on the speedways. Out in front, it's Matthew Wood who continues to lead this race. Noah Blackwell there in second, Brian Underwood in third. Dylan Carrier and Wyatt Mickelson rounding out our top 5 is Zach Perry looking to try to race his way back inside the top 5 here, going from the high side down to the bottom side, looking to make the move around that HendrickCars.com number 51 machine for position number 5. Looks like he's going to slide up and just barely clear the nose there of Wyatt Mickelson, as Dylan Carrier, Brian Underwood, they're battling door-to-door here for position number 3. They make a little bit of contact right there. Oh, baby, that got very close for the 77, as Underwood almost got into the outside fence. He had to lift out of the throttle. Going to lose a couple spots here, as there goes that 76. There goes the 51 right, as Perry and Mickelson both able to roll around him. Now, I'm sure Underwood not going to be very happy with that move, that contact between himself and that number 31 machine, as we do see the caution flag come back out. So the caution flag will be displayed again, and it looks like Grant Applegate going to run into some more problems here. Applegate, the 3 ride, I do believe Ethan Greek are going to run into each other here, as Applegate sideways there on the racetrack, trying to hang on to that car, loses a ton of momentum. The 3 ride just trying to get around him, unfortunately gives him a little shot there, does not help balance that car out ever so slightly, and unfortunately just going to lose the handle of it there. Finally goes around, unfortunately comes back down the racetrack into that passenger side door of that 3 machine. Ethan Greek goes around. I do believe he's going to slam up into the outside fence here, probably heavy contact there for him. Yeah, that's a big hit right there into that front left, front rear quarter panels of that 3 machine. Heavy damage for the Bass Pro Shops ride. Good damage there as well for Grant Applegate, but I think for the most part he was able to get out of that fairly unscathed and not too much damage there. A little left front damage himself, but nonetheless, looks like he's able to keep it clean. Doesn't look like anyone's going to T-bone him or take him out right there, so good break for him, but he does take that car. It does blink a little bit right there. Luckily enough, does stay on the racetrack, keeps on rolling there. Doesn't look like he's going to go a lap down. Doesn't look like too much damage to try to get repaired. Ethan Greek definitely has a lot more damage to try to get fixed up here. That left front very busted up here. They're going to have to really go to work to try to get this car fixed up and back into good running shape out there on the speedway, as some drivers going to come down pit side, use this as a opportunity to get some fuel, maybe some tires here, maybe try to save a set and just try to use that fuel strategy G out there on the Speedway as Matthew Wood and Noah Blackwell 1 and 2 on the Speedway. Dylan Carrier sits there in third. Zach Perry, Wyatt Mickelson are top 5. Brian Underwood back into 6th there as the caution flag was thrown. He was falling backwards. And then we see Joe David in the 6th ride into position number 7. Keegan Huey there in 8th. Reese Calva having himself a great run in that Prestige Enterprises number 4 ride, that powerhouse motorsports machine there in 9th. Evan Stewart rounding out our top 10 on the racetrack as Stewart rolls there in that 10th position. It's Aiden Lucas, Nick Jensen, Logan Perriman, Jaden Porter, Ryan Haller, Michael Ponder Jr., Michael Durham Jr., Trent Johns, Ethan Greek, William, Jason Bogart, Mike Coravu, and Grant Applegate now bringing up the rear of the field as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to duke it out here in this one. Each and every one of these drivers getting ready to go to battle, getting ready to duke it out here for our closing laps this afternoon as we inch closer and closer to that checkered flag this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who do you think gets it done? Who do you think ends up in victory lane? Who's going to get the win this afternoon? Is Mama Bear? What's good, Mama Bear? Mama Bear coming in, showing the love here in this one. How are you, Mama Bear? Is Mama Bear showing the love? That heart reaction says, hello, my boys. Hello, Mama Bear. As Bryce Dickinson says, you can do math better than you can pronounce names correctly. Oh, God. Oh, God. That is true. That is true. That's honestly true. Math was definitely always my strong suit. English was never it, brother. I would rather do math calculations than I would try to do, an essay or something like that. 100%. Is Bryce Bear also coming in with the exclamation mark followage over there on Facebook, coming in with 1,096 days of being a follower here on Peacemaker Gaming. Absolutely freaking insane, Brycey Bear. Almost 1,100 days of being a part of the Peacemaker family. That is absolutely wild. I know Mama Bear, she's right there as well, as we'll get ready to go back to battle here as Jonathan Dean says Jensen by 30 seconds. By 30 seconds! Holy! Yeah, that's like a lap ahead. It's like a lap ahead, Jonathan. By a lap, he thinks that Nick Jensen's gonna win this race. That's a wild one right there, man. That's a wild one. I like it though. I like it. It's a little out of pocket, but I'm gonna like it. As here we go, back to green flag racing here this afternoon as we're gonna jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Crank up that volume as we will crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. Caution flag back out on the racetrack. Yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag. Here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It looks like it was the number 42 ride of Nick Jensen potentially running into some problems here. Looks like Jensen gonna go around a little deeper in the field, and unfortunately for that 42 ride, gonna get some pretty solid contact into the outside fence as he's rolling down on the inside lane. Just looks like he gets a little loose right here. Maybe a little contact between him and this number 4, Aris Kelva. I don't know, this could be a tight one right here. They may end up making a little contact down into corner number 3. And unfortunately, it's just going to lose that front end. He's trying to catch it. Unfortunately, just gets sideways there on the racetrack and then comes back up. And, oh, man, Trent John's nowhere to go. That 2 ride, the M&M's machine, just absolutely nothing he could do. Unfortunately, some more contact there for the 00 ride as he's going to, unfortunately, see nowhere to go here. Gets into him, helps him back up the racetrack there. Slides up the speedway. Hard contact into the 2 ride. Hard contact up into the outside fence in the Sands, Las Vegas. 42 ride. Heavy damage. That car is tore up here, down spinning through the infield here, and unfortunately that's where we see that caution flag fly, and Nick Jensen getting some serious damage right there. Trent John's heavy contact, heavy damage there himself as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing as Trent John's down pit road trying to get that car repaired. Same with that number, oh man, look at that right hand side. This car is absolutely shredded apart. Look at that tire, just a weeble wobble in there as that car is definitely seen some better days. I don't think that thing is it's going to take a lot of work to try to get this M&M's number 2 machine back into racing condition and back out there onto the racetrack. And unfortunately, a lot of other drivers down pit side still looking to get repaired, trying to get their cars fixed up here as well. And now the number 2, unfortunately, getting a little too far into his pit stall right there, a little too close to the pit wall. He's going to try to get this car backed up and a little bit more where the crew can have some room to go to work there. And finally now they're able to start to beat and bang and try to get that thing repaired and try to get some of those fenders put back onto it as we'll get these drivers ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle. It's out in front. It's Matthew Wood. Wood continuing to lead the way here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Matthew Wood out in front as Mama Bear over there on Facebook. Susie Dickinson says, come on 16, cheer it on. Wood here this afternoon is Brad Racing. Brad Hunt coming in, showing the love as well with that like on the stream. How are you, Brad? Brad coming in, dropping that thumbs up over there on the broadcast. Oh, man. Brian C. Bear says, that's my favorite looking car. That, too, is nice looking. That, too, is nice looking, man. There's a lot of really nice looking cars out there, man. Some of these guys definitely take some pride into making their cars look really, really nice out there on the speedway. Some of them have some very, very beautiful looking paint schemes, some very unique ones, some more cookie cutter ones. Also, you see the Pendragon number 18, the NJB Designs right there, and Noah Blackwell, Joe David, beautiful looking number 6 car out there on the speedway hauler. Some of these guys, man, just have some very, very nice paint schemes, man. Some of them are looking very fresh out there. Very unique, some very special paint schemes. Obviously, some NASCAR paint schemes in there as well. Nick Jensen's car looking very nice. I do love the purple here in Grant Applegate's ride there, that Red Bull ride. Definitely very, very sharp out there on the speedway as well. I definitely like that. The orange and how it kind of goes with the black and everything else in the number there definitely makes it a very unique looking race car out there on the speedway. And some very, very fast cats. A lot of great drivers, and they're going to continue to look to keep on battling here tonight. We'll have to wait and see who can try to put themselves up and into victory lane as the laps continue to click down. We inch closer and closer to our checkered flag here this afternoon as we got about 48 laps left to go here in this race. We're right there about to get into the action, about to see the final closing laps of this race. And for some of these drivers, starting to open up that window here of where they need to come down pit road. When do you make that final pit stop? When do you put the tires onto your race car here? And do you have an extra step behind pit wall for late in this race? We're about to find out as it's all about to come right at you as we go back to green flag racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as the green flag quickly back out into the air for that 16 of Matthew Wood. That Jimmy Johnson paint scheme looking fast here once again at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, looking to try to end up back into victory lane just like Johnson did 84 times in his racing career in NASCAR. As right there behind him, Wyatt Mickelson looking to try to take that race lead away from him. Zach Perry trying to follow him right on through. As here comes Noah Blackwell and Dylan Carriers. They battle door to door back there for position number 4 on the racetrack. As we go back to our Peacemaker Gaming, crank it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Once again, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. Alrighty, caution flag coming back out right here is contact between Reese Calva and the 00 Michael Durham Jr. You guys can be the judges of this one. I'm not too sure. It's just some good hard racing, trying to side draft down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, some contact being made. Now, I'm not sure if the 00 looks like he comes down off that wall ever so slightly. Unfortunately, over the nose there of Reese Calva. Calva just trying to hold his line. The 00 comes down off the outside fence and unfortunately down over his nose. He's going to go for a couple loop-de-loops down through corner number 3. And luckily enough, everyone's able to avoid him, avoid additional carnage out there on the racetrack. But that will put us right back under the yellow flag. And now we do see a lot of drivers down pit road going to work, getting their cars repaired, getting some tires, getting some fuel. This could be our final pit stop of the day. We did see a few drivers elect to stay out, though. A few drivers on different strategies here. Now at the front of the field as the 38 rider Keegan Huey, Willie, Jason Bogart there in second. Mike Coravu there in position number 3. Ethan Greek back into 4th. And the driver that brought out that caution flag, the 00 right now, he will get sent to the rear of the field here, but currently scored in that 5th position as Noah Blackwell will be the first driver that went down pit road to come out of pit lane here. So a big move there for that number 18 machine as Noah Blackwell could potentially be the driver in the hot seat here. Fresh tires, a fast race car. He's back in position number 6 right here for what could be a 6th place start. And Wyatt Mickelson, Brian Underwood, Joe David, Zach Perry. Not sure Matthew Wood comes out, currently scored back in that 13th position. So I'm not sure if other drivers took 2 tires or potentially a slow pit stop there for that 16 rider Matthew Wood. No longer in that top spot. We'll have to wait and see if that Lowe's machine can work himself back up through the traffic and race his way back up to the front of the field here. And if he make the right strategy call, is out in front Keegan Huey. Last time down pit road was lap 62 for Jason Bogart. Came down pit road there on lap 84, that last caution flag. So he was able to get some repairs. The car doesn't have too many green flag laps on it. He could be sitting in a great spot now with some great track position as Mike Coravu, Ethan Greek, Michael Durham Jr. Our top 5 on the racetrack getting ready to go back to green flag racing as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here again this afternoon from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. These drivers side by side down the back straightaway, just creeping around Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here this evening. Still lots of racing action left to go. Is down across the line. We go back to green flag racing with 40 laps left here in this one. As Julie Carly coming in, show the love. Julie coming in says, go Jason, go. Cheered on Jason out there on the speedway. As Lonnie Carly also says, go Bogart. Cheered on Bogart out there on the speedway. Jason getting a lot of fans in the stands here this afternoon. The Bogart family cheering him on here this afternoon. The Bogart fans in the stands out there in full force this afternoon as we'll get them ready to go back to green flag racing. Door to door, down through the Geico restart zone. And we'll go back to battle here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as the green flag quickly back out into the air. A great launch right there on the inside lane for the 38 of Keegan. Huey will lead us back down into corner number 1. Here comes Jason Bogart. Bogart, but look out, contact! Bogart sideways on the racetrack. Up into the outside fence goes that 1776 Motorsports ride. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we may have jinxed him. We were talking about him, all the fans in the stands cheering him on, and potentially the announcer's curse taking out that 71 ride right there as Bogart going to end up with some pretty solid damage there as they get tied together down through corner number 1 and 2. He was trying to make the move down to the inside lane and unfortunately just wasn't clear yet of that 46. Got a great launch, got a great run here, was looking down low, looking to try to take that second spot away from the 46. Just wasn't quite clear of him yet. And unfortunately, as he kind of comes down the racetrack right there, just not clear of that 46, down over his right front fender there. And unfortunately, as they get tied together, nowhere to go for the 3 machine. You see the 18 and Noah Blackwell. He's getting some pretty good damage there, as well as that 00 ride of Michael Durham Jr. He gets tied up in it. You'll see Zach, his teammate in the 1776 Motorsports ride, also getting a little damage there, as well as Jason Bogart up into the outside fence. And that car may need a little bit more than Flex Seal to stop the leaks out of that radiator out there on the racetrack, as that car got pretty tore up in a quick hurry. And unfortunately, that's how fast things can go wrong out there on the racetrack. That is racing in a nutshell. Let's see if we can go all the way back to this restart here and jump on board with this number 71 ride and see what he can see from the cockpit. There's the restart. A great launch down low. Our race leader able to fire first. Gets a great jump. Able to clear him down into corner number 1. Now he thinks he's clear here down to the inside. Unfortunately, he just had a little bit of a late shift right there. Maybe closed the door on him, or I'm not sure. But nonetheless, he comes down the track. Ends up over the nose of that 46 machine. And pretty solid contact there into that outside fence. Pretty solid contact into the 46 and the 3 machine here as well. And actually, I don't know, maybe did the 46 get loose right there? This is a better angle here. Definitely see the 71 kind of coming down. 46, yeah, no, looks like the 71. Bogart, unfortunately, just comes down a little too far there, unfortunately. Gets into that right front. Just, if anything, not giving him any room there. Getting the 46 loose, getting out of shape there, and tough break there. Some pretty solid damage for a bunch of drivers. See that 18 ride. He's turned around as well. Noah Blackwell's trying to hang on to this car, trying to drift it down through corner number 1 and 2. And, oh, man. Dylan Carrier's going to get in there. Carrier's going to get a good piece of them, and they get together. They get tied up, and then him and the 6 come together down low. They're both going to slide down the racetrack. Hard contact for both drivers down into the inside fence there as well, and more carnage, man. That caused a lot of damage, a lot of tore-up race cars there. That green flag came back out, and the carnage ensued for Keegan Huey. He's still out in front, though, leading this race. That 38 ride at the front of the field. The 3 machine of Ethan Greek now in second. Mike Koravu, they're in position number 3. Wyatt Mickelson now into 4th with Underwood, Perry, Lucas, Matthew Wood, Grant Applegate, and Ryan Haller, who not too long ago was a couple laps down, just there outside the top 10. Evan Stewart, he is in that 10th position on the outside lane here. just not tight to the back bumper of that 16 ride. But man, for Ryan Haller right there, just on the inside of the top 10, he was multiple laps down, got tied up early on in a caution flag, and here he is trying to battle his way back into the action this afternoon. Man, a great rebound there for that number 23 machine. As we do see the lights turned off, the official iRacing pace car, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Unfortunately, Noah Blackwell still down pit side. Michael Ponder Jr. also down pit road. Trent Johns off the racetrack. Nick Jensen back there in 19th. He's a couple laps down. Jason Bogart there at the rear of the field here on the lead lap, back in 18th as down through the Geico restart zone. We will go back to green flag racing, and we'll continue on here with our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up as we're about to hit that 100 lap marker in just a few more laps. As here we go back to green flag racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Another great jump, and already we see him 3 wide back there behind him, and these restarts just going to get more and more intense out there on the speedways. Everyone trying to race their way to the front of the field. everybody. Give it up for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session here at the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway as Brian Underwood leads the way. The 77 bang ride out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. Here in this one is Zach Perry. Rolls there in position number 2. Perry looking to try to battle back to the back bumper here of that 77 ride, looking to battle for this race win here this afternoon as they got a little bit of a gap now between themselves and our third place driver, that 34 of Aiden Lucas. Lucas back into that third position. Look out, the 57 of Applegate sideways there on the racetrack. Look out now, the 31 ride of Dylan Carrier getting very loose after a little contact there. He almost goes around, almost collects a bunch more drivers inside the top 5. Here comes that 46, Mike Coravu. Unfortunately had to check up right there, trying to not get into that 31. That's going to open up the door here for the number 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood able to get back around that 46 right after getting up into the outside fence a couple times himself. The 16 ride seems like he's definitely having a harder time trying to work himself back up through the traffic as Reese Calva rounding out our top 10. Ryan Haller there in 11th. Joe David, Keegan Huey there in a different pit strategy here. Last time down pit road was lap number 62. That car may have to come back down pit road as Logan Perriman there in position number 14. The 00 ride, heavy front end damage still there on that 00 machine of Michael Durham Jr. as he rolls there in that 15th position. Ethan Greek, Jason Bogart, Jaden Porter, our top 18 on the racetrack. Nick Jensen, the first car at least one lap down out there on the racetrack, hoping to see another caution flag. Noah Blackwell, unfortunately, has went down pit side as well. Blackwell now a lap down as well, or actually a couple laps down, scored back in 20th. Michael Potter Jr., Trent Johns bringing up the rear of the field back in 22nd, is out in front. It's a little bit of chaos back there behind him. Look out, Reese Kelva down the racetrack hard onto the apron right here. Somehow or another keeps that car collected, does not end up into the inside fence. He will keep it clean and green out there on the speedway. Unfortunately there for Reese, he's going to fall back a ton of spots on the racetrack. And for the number 4 car, looks like he's going to head right down pit side. This is a heartbreaker as he was having a great run up inside the top 10. Looks like he's gotten up into the outside fence, and unfortunately some solid contact there for him as Underwood continuing to lead the way, starting to stretch out that race lead. Zach Perry there behind him, but there is a big gap now. 2.3 seconds here from Perry's back bumper to our third place driver, Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson rolls there in third with Dylan Carrier in position number 4 and looking for more. Matthew Woods rakes his way back inside the top 5 as here comes Evan Stewart. Stewart right there in position number 6. Aiden Lucas back in 7th. Mike Coravu there in position number 8 with Joe David and Grant Applegate rounding up the top 10. Applegate trying to hold on to that 10th position as here comes Logan Perriman. Perriman to his outside trying to take that 10th position away, and looks like he will make that pass and jump into position number 10 on the speedway. Ryan Haller right there behind him here. He scored back in that 12th spot as he's got Michael Durham Jr. there behind him. That number 57 of Grant Applegate right in front of him as they battle down across the start finish line. We inch closer and closer to our checker flag. Only 21 more laps left to go, ladies and gentlemen. 21 more laps of racing action here this evening as Paige Marie says, yay, Zach, stay up there. Sutton is cheering for you. Sutton cheering on that number 76 right here this afternoon as Mama Bear Susie Dickinson says, come on, Matthew Wood. As Viper Esports says, come on, 00. Cheering on Michael Durham Jr. here this afternoon. Texas Calva, Texas says, I was hauling. He says, you were definitely hauling out there, Reese. It was great to see you battling up inside the top 10 there. He says, but then got too aggressive coming out of 2. Yeah, we saw you unfortunately get up into that outside fence, and unfortunately have to take that car down pit side, and by the sounds of it, may be the end of the night there for Texas Calva. Reese Calva down pit road. Looks like he may be down there for an extended period of time and potentially for the rest of this race. Heartbreaker after having such a great battle. Here you go, a battle at the front of the field. It's Zach Perry looking to take this race lead away from Brian Underwood. There's only 19 more laps of racing action left here for Las Vegas, and this is the battle for the race lead. As they battle door to door, though, they got to be very, very careful as the rest of the field start to catch back up to him. Here comes Wyatt Mickelson, Dylan Carrier, Matthew Wood inching back in to that battle at the front of the field as Zach Perry was able to take that race lead away. Down across the line, we get a new race leader here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Late in this one, it's Zach Perry now out in front, leading this field. Underwood back into second there, was able to battle back right to the rear bumper of that Busch Latte machine, but sixth there in that second spot, not able to make a move. But you see these drivers back behind them, they are closing the gap in a hurry. It was over 2.5 seconds there between our top two cats on the racetrack. It is now less than 3/4 of a second. They are there. They are coming. And for Underwood and Zach Perry, they got to be very, very careful. Got to be very smart about how they got to attack this and try to throw these blocks as these drivers come in a big, big hurry, maybe potentially saving some tire here for this run. And now getting right there to the back bumper here of the front of the field as Mickelson, Matthew Wood, Dylan Carrier showing some great speed here, some great patience, and now racing their way back to the front of the pack is Evan Stewart there in 6th. Mike Koravu there in 7th, and Logan Perriman now into the 8th position as Joe David and Aiden Lucas rounding out our top 10. Applegate right there in position number 11. Holler back in 12th with Michael Durham Jr. back there in 13th. Jason Bogart now into the 14th spot as Jaden Porter rolls there in 15th. We do see Ethan Greek heading down pit side here, so green flag pit stop there for that number 3 machine. Keegan Huey also has already came down pit side, making an additional pit stop there for that 38 ride as Nick Jensen, Noah Blackwell, Reese Calva, Michael Ponder Jr. and Trent Johns rounding out our field as we see the caution flag come back out. The caution flag back out into the air, and this time it's one of our front runners, and a big hit here for the 31. Oh man, Dylan Carrier, he has been on the edge of existence all afternoon, battling here in 5th, and just looks like the rear end gonna step out on him. He tries to correct it, the car snap hooks up into the outside fence, and watch this car. Once it snaps out underneath of him here, right up the racetrack, this is a very heavy hit. Well, look at this car up off the tires there, bouncing through the corner 4 straight away here, and unfortunately heavy damage. Looks like that may be the end of the night for the Phoenix Esports number 31 machine, as that NJB Designs ride absolutely tore up down there. Luckily enough, everyone else able to avoid him there, not getting tied up in it, not getting any additional damage or tore up race cars there. But for that 31, man, this was a heavy hit. This one had to hurt out there. Let's see if we can jump on board and take a look at it as he rolls down through corner number 4 right there. Just kind of gets loose, trying to save it, overcorrects it. Unfortunately, car just snaps up into the outside fence. You hear that bottom end of the motor just absolutely crash out right there, and unfortunately takes that car right down pit side and off the racetrack. That is a heartbreaker there for Dylan Carey as we see all these drivers head down pit road there, and Michael Durham Jr. unfortunately going through his pit box there ever so slightly. His driver's starting to pull some strategy here. We see Mickelson throwing 4 fresh tires on. Here comes Matthew Wood down out of the pits, as well as Ryan Haller going to be the first driver out of pit lane, and we get a new race leader as Ryan Haller will now be our race leader. Zach Perry there in 2nd. Brian Underwood coming out in 3rd. Matthew Wood there in 4th. Mickelson back in 5th. Mike Koravu in position number 6 with Aiden Lucas, Evan Stewart, Grant Applegate, and Joe David rounding out our top 11. Logan Perriman back in 11th with Michael Durham Jr., Jaden Porter, Jason Bogart, Keegan Huey back in 15th. Ethan Greek, Nick Jensen, Noah Blackwell, Dylan Carrier, Michael Ponder Jr., Reese Calva, and Trent Johns rounding out the field here in this one as Dylan in the chat says, mid-save, the wheel just disconnected. I love it. Oh, brother, that is a heartbreaker right there. As Hunter Butler says, let's go. Evan cheered on Evan, says he's got it here in this one. Texas Calva says that was a blast. 6 minutes of repair. Had a great time here with Wheel to Wheel, brother. We appreciate you jumping out there, having some fun on the racetrack, and having a good time out there in unfortunate and in unfortunate circumstances there to finish your race this afternoon. But, man, that was a heck of a show you guys were putting on for us. As Ramrod says, go Zach, number 76, cheered on Zach Perry. Perry will get ready to restart here from position number 2, but he's got a lot of fast cats all around him here. Ryan Haller obviously had to go for a 2-tire pit stop right there in that number 23 machine, so I'm not sure how he's going to be able to hang on to these 4 fresh tires around him here. If he's going to be able to keep them back there at bay, or if he's got something special up his sleeve here. Maybe he's got a little something that he was keeping from everyone else. Maybe the 2-tire strategy late in the race may pay off. Maybe he only needs 12 laps to get it done and keep these drivers back there at bay. As Hypershift Racing League says, shoot out to the finish. Yes, Sirski, shoot out to the finish is 100% correct. This is going to be an absolute dogfight. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys came here for a show. Well, here you go. If you guys have been enjoying this racing action, if you guys I'm going to see your driver up in victory lane right now for some good luck. Comment their name in the comment section right now. Let us know who you want to see pick up the dub here this afternoon. And make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here from Las Vegas. The gambling is all done here. Drivers, they have their chips on the table. This is the last hand, and drivers need to show what they got. And someone is going to gamble and come home with a big payday in a checkered flag here from Las Vegas. Who will it be? Who will cash in? Who will hit the lucky sevens here at Sin City and be our race winner in race number 2 of the season here at the Wheel to Wheel Racing League? As that 23 ride trying to hang on to the top spot, unfortunately just out at corner number 4, cannot stick with those 4 fresh tires as around goes Zach Perry. Perry back to the point here in this one. Underwood, Matthew Wood right there with them. Here comes Wyatt Mickelson in the HendrickCars.com number 51. Aiden Lucas now up into 5th. Here's Grant Applegate back into the 6th position, trying to race his way inside the top 5. Haller just doing everything he can, trying to hang on, is Mike Corvu down low in that City Chevrolet, the 22G.org ride. Now into position number 7. Here comes Evan Stewart there in 8th. Joe David, Logan Perryman now our top 10 is unfortunately for Ryan Haller, now back inside the top 10 on the racetrack. As here comes Zach Perry out of corner number 2 down the back straightaway. Has a couple car lengths between himself and Brian Underwood. Underwood trying to hunt him down. Same with Matthew Wood and the rest of this field as they're looking to try to knock Zach Perry out of the top spot. Not wanting to see that Busch Latte ride into victory lane, but for all the Perry fans in the house, cheer your driver on. Is down across the line. Only 9 more laps left to go here from Las Vegas. He is looking to get it done, and he needs all the luck he can here to try to keep these hungry drivers back there at bay. As one of them is going to clean out the house here tonight. One of them is going to win all the chips in that checkered flag and cash in the big payday here from Sin City. As Matthew Wood right there putting the pressure now into the back bumper here of Brian Underwood. The Woods at the front of the field duking it out as you see the 16 make a big move from the hindsight down to the inside. Gets a great run here down into corner number 1, and he's looking to jump back into second and trying to get to the back bumper of our race leader. Zach Perry, though, sees them battling back there behind him. He's hoping that they continue to battle door to door for multiple laps and allow him to start to pull away. Unfortunately, could not open up a little bit more of a gap there down the back straightaway. Now here comes that 77. Underwood taking a peek down to his inside, trying to stay there to his back bumper, trying to use that little bit of a draft as he tries to break it down across the start-finish line here. We see only 7 more laps left to go. Oh, man. Zach is definitely feeling it. The nerves, the intensity, everything is on the line right now. And now this may not be our final restart. We may see more caution flags here late in this race. And for the 76 ride, he's just doing everything he can to keep these drivers back there at bay. Has shown he's got a very fast car. Has got a long run speed as well out of the 76 ride. With that 77, the 16, here comes that 51. It is a train here at the front of the field. Down into corner number 1, they all spread out. Here comes a big run to the outside. Underwood, door to door, down out of corner number 2. Underwood looking for the race lead. That 76 of Zach Perry trying to hang on to it. He'll drive it deep down low into corner number 3. Nice and easy down out of corner number 4. We'll see if he can slide back up and clear that 77 ride. Looks like he almost did, but the 77 of Underwood will stay there to the outside of our race leader as they are side by side with 6 laps left to go here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Matthew Wood right there ready to bounce. Here comes Wyatt Mickelson and Aiden Lucas. They're trying to poke their nose into this battle. Grant Applegate's right there as well, ready to strike. Mike Corfu having a great run. They're in position number 7. Joe David, Logan Pyramid, and now Michael Durham Jr. round out our top 10 on the racetrack. As Zach Perry continues to lead the way, but it is a hornet's nest here at the front of the field. Throw a blanket over our top 6 here at Las Vegas. And Zach Perry continues to hold them off. Here comes Underwood, another look to the outside there. 3 wide back there behind him. 3 wide for position number 3. Applegate couldn't get the run, couldn't get the drive off of corner number 2. He'll fall back into that 5th position. Now here comes Corvu. Here comes Aiden Lucas right into that fight as well. And Zach Perry's going to hold him off for another lap down across the line. Maybe a little contact right there. As Underwood gets a piece of them as they head back down into corner number 1. Only 3 more laps left to go, and it is not over yet. Here comes another big run down to the inside. The crossover out of the 77. Underwood looking for the race lead. Down into corner number 3. He'll send it in there deep, and now here comes Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson in the HendrickCars.com run. Where did he come from? He's right there in the mix there. 3 wide down across the line for the race lead. 2 more laps left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get on your feet and cheer these drivers on. What a show. What a battle here in the front of the field. It's out of corner number 2. We'll get a new race leader. It's Wyatt Mickelson to the point. There's contact. They're wrecking back there behind him. Up into the outside fence goes Grant Applegate, Brian Underwood in the 76. Into the wall, and we will go to NASCAR overtime here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. Oh my gosh, what has been going on? Absolute madness here this afternoon, man. Oh, I don't know how they're going to up that, man. That was absolutely insane. Those final 10, 15 laps, these drivers have been putting on one heck of a show, and to see it end like that is definitely not the way we wanted to see it go down. And for Wyatt Mickelson, that may have been a big breath of fresh air for himself, maybe an opportunity to catch your breath, as not only myself but each and every one of these drivers, I think they have been holding their air for a lot of laps here. And a tore up 76 ride. That is so disappointing for him. Zach Perry having such a good run. Now gonna have to head down pit side looking to get some repairs there on that Busch Latte ride. Oh man, we gotta catch our breath here, Chad. These guys have been, woo, they've been going to work, man. My gosh, what a run. What a drive. It's down the back straightaway. They just finally run out of room here. 3 wide, they're battling tight, only 2 laps left to go here. They were coming back to the white flag, less than half a lap away from seeing that white flag be displayed. And unfortunately, right here, Zach Perry, Grant Applegate, Brian Underwood, they are door-to-door, 3 wide here. You see Aiden Lucas right there as well. He's poking his nose into that battle, and unfortunately, the door is just going to get shut here. They're just going to run out of room finally down the back straightaway. And unfortunately, the 76, he gets up into the outside fence. The 77 still traveling up the racetrack. They're trying to sign draft off each other. And unfortunately, one coming down, one coming up. They run out of room. They get tied together. They watch down the racetrack into Grant Applegate. Applegate's got nowhere to go. He gets hooked up across the nose of both the 76 and the 77. Hard contact into the outside fence for all 3 drivers. And our race leaders, some of our race leaders, just absolutely tore up down there into corner number 3. In the 76, it will wash down the racetrack. Luckily enough, no one else gets collected, but the action, it's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. We still got a green-white checkered here. We still got racing action left to be had, as Wyatt Mickelson is our race leader. Aiden Lucas there in 2nd. Matthew Wood in 3rd. Mike Corvu up into 4th, and now Logan Perryman rounding out our top 5. Joe David there in 6th with Michael Durham Jr., Keegan Huey, Jaden Porter, and Evan Stewart rounding out our top 10 now on the racetrack. Jason Bogart back there in 11th. Ryan Haller, Nick Jensen, Zach Perry score back there in 14th with Noah Blackwell in that 15th position. Ethan Greek, Grant Applegate, Brian Underwood, both down pit side getting heavy repairs done to their cars. They may be done for the night here, and somehow or another, I don't know how that 14 ride is still rolling. Here we go, the 77 actually going to roll back out onto the racetrack. Yeah, no, it looks like he's going to give up on that idea. Yeah, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. As Cryptic says, holy crap, some of the best racing I've seen. Wow, that was absolutely insane, man. These guys have been putting on absolute battle, man. This has been a dogfight, and we aren't even close to being over now. I'm not sure how many attempts at NASCAR overtime we have here. 3 attempts at NASCAR overtime, ladies and gentlemen. So we will have a green-white checkered finish here. If we do not see that white flag be displayed and the caution flag comes back out on the first lap back to green flag racing here, we will stack them up, rack them up, and do it all over again. But if that white flag does get displayed, the next flag will end this race no matter what. Whether it's the caution flag or the checkered flag. After the white flag, it is going to be over after that point. The next flag will end this race. As the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, back down pit side, is down through the Cutco restart zone. We will go back to battle here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's Wyatt Mickelson with a great launch, a great jump right there. Quickly clears that 34 ride. Matthew Wood going to go with him. Wood into second. Aiden Lucas slides back to third. Logan Perryman now into fourth. Here comes that 0-0 of Michael Durham Jr. They're 2, almost 3 wide back there behind him, just outside our top 5. As drivers trying to race their way up to the front of the field, it's Wyatt Mickelson, though, leading the way down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. Down back across the line. No caution flag in the sky, and we will see that white flag fly. The last lap here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. Does Matthew Wood have enough left in the tank to maybe find a run and steal this win away from Wyatt Mickelson? Or can Mickelson get it done and park that HendrickCars.com ride into victory lane as they're wrecking back there behind him? Down the back straightaway, down into corner number 3 though for the final time. Down and out of corner number 4, it's Wyatt Mickelson who will get it done and cash in all the chips here at Las Vegas as he picks up the win here with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Wyatt Mickelson gets the dub and puts himself up and in to victory lane. What a run and what a drive there for the HendrickCars.com number 51 machine. Matthew Wood coming home in second, and Aiden Lucas rounding out our top 3. His driver still beating him back a little bit back there behind him. Maybe displeasure out there on the racetrack, maybe some frustrations as everyone trying to race their way up to the front of the field. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner. That 51 machine of Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson getting the job done in finding victory lane here in what was an absolutely incredible race. A great battle, lap after lap after lap, and these guys put on one heck of a show, man. And, man, what a race. What a race, what a show. That was absolutely insane. I think that one is definitely going to end up being a reel there. That battle between those 5, 6, 7 drivers at the front of the field. 2, 3, 4 wide out there on the speedway. And Wyatt Mickelson out of nowhere sealing that race lead in that move to take that race lead 3 wide down across the start finish line into corner number 1 and out of 2. Even though they were wrecking back there behind him, he ends up in victory lane. Big move for Wyatt Mickelson. Big win here for that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet as he's going to burn down the house here in Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, man. Wyatt earned that one. That was a hell of a race, hell of a battle. As Ramrod says, great job getting back in the top 10, Zach. Yeah, Zach Perry still able to pull out a ninth place finish there. Was absolutely insane. As Underwood says, fun racing. Let's go Mickelson. And Wyatt able to get it done. Cryptic says, let's go Wyatt. That was absolutely insane. Great race there by Wyatt, man. Hunter says, good job Evan. Yeah, Evan with a solid run, man. Solid drive by all these drivers, man. Even if they didn't get the finish that they probably deserved, the show that they put on, the content that they made, the racing action out there on the racetrack. I'm sure there's not a lot of drivers that are leaving the racetrack right now with a sour taste in their mouth. I feel like each and every one of them, we're pretty excited, we're pretty happy, and pretty impressed about the racing action out there on the speedway. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews here today as these drivers put on a absolute masterclass of a race for us, man. That was a lot of fun. That was absolutely insane to watch. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our race winner, Wyatt Mickelson, waiting down pit side. We're going to pull him up here into the broadcast booth after picking up the dub here in this one. Let's hear it for Wyatt Mickelson as Mickelson gets the win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, man. What a drive for that number 51 machine. Hey, Wyatt, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Wyatt, man, what a run, what a race, dude. Take us back through this one. All the action here all afternoon, man. A lot of tough battles out there on the Speedway. But late in this one, you see all the action, and somehow or another, you're able to go 3 wide, take that race lead down out of quarter number 2. They start direct back there behind you, and then that final restart, the green-white checkered, it will hold Matthew Wood and the rest of this field back there at bay as you pull yourself up into victory lane and race number 2 of the season here with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League, man. Take us back through the emotions, take us back through this race, and what's running through your mind right now as you're able to cash in here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is awesome race. Such good racing up front, duking it out back and forth. It was, heck, I think probably top 6 to 8. We were just all going back and forth, just duking it out, and so much fun. Got to thank the guys that put on this league. And Wheel Racing. This is awesome fun league. I love this car. Next gen car is so much fun. Definitely in my wheelhouse. Gotta thank my teammate Ryan. He got a little unfortunate there in the beginning and towards the end, but great run for Field Up Motorsports. First win in this league, first win as a team. So gotta thank him, and that number 1 pit stall definitely helped out.
Absolutely, that number 1 pit stall, some great racing, some great speed out of your car all evening long. Ryan was looking to have another solid run here himself after getting a top 3 performance there last week, and now here this week you're able to back it up with a win. So you guys are off to a hot start here in the series after, a couple great performances, a couple great runs, but man, oh man. How nerve-wracking was it out there, man, knowing that this could be that first win for your new team here between yourself and Haller, and knowing that the pressure of trying to win early on in a season and all these drivers back there trying to hunt you down, man, there's a lot of very, very fast cats, including Matthew Wood right there, on your back bumper trying to knock you out of that top spot.
Yeah, it was pretty intense with everything going on. With that, when that last caution came out, when Grant got caught up in that, I was not too happy at first. I definitely thought that was my only chance to win it. But I knew I was killing it on the restarts all day long, and I just knew I just needed one last killer restart to really just beat Matthew off the line, because at the beginning of the race, me and him were going at duking it back and forth, but he would get me probably within 4 to 5 laps. So I knew short run I could probably get him as long as I got a good restart. So
absolutely. Well, you definitely got the restart you were looking for as you were able to open up a gap and hold him off there throughout that green-white checkered, a little NASCAR overtime here to finish off the craziness at Las Vegas Motor Speedways. Why don't you park it up in victory lane here in Las Vegas? Brother, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack as you're able to capture tonight's victory?
First, I'd like to thank you for putting on this broadcast. I always love going back and watching these broadcasts to see how I did and what I can do better. And thank my teammate Ryan, and thank you the guys that put on Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. Great, I love it.
Absolutely, some great racing, a lot of great action out there, and a great run for yourself as you pick up the win here in Las Vegas. Why, congratulations, brother. Many more in the future to come for you, man, as you've been getting faster and faster week after week in every series that we see you in, and I'm sure without a doubt we're going to see you for more and more trips up here in the top spot into victory lane for that 51 ride. I'm sure without a doubt at some point in time you're going to try and get your teammate Ryan Haller up here for a dub himself.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Beauty. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and Wyatt, don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
Thank you. Try not to.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Wyatt Mickelson, as Mickelson gets the dub and pulls his ride up and into victory lane. Him and the team are going to start to party down there. They're going to get ready to celebrate the big win here at Las Vegas, and now we'll head down pit side and bring in our second place finisher, the 16 machine, Matthew Wood. Wood coming home in position number 2, man. What a run and what a drive here in this one. Congrats to the 51, says Mama Bear. Good run, number 16, and poor Applegate. Applegate, definitely poor Applegate right there. Poor couple drivers there at the end, man. A couple tough breaks. I mean, for Zach Perry, for the Grant Applegate, for Brian Underwood, man. Some of these guys, even Dylan Carrier there, before all that crazy action getting tore up, and a lot of drivers that had some very good speed out there, not getting the runs that they were hoping for. But man, I'm hoping they all had a good time and had some fun out there on the racetrack, because we're gonna get ready to pull in our second place finisher, Matthew Wood. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up here. Here he is, our second place driver, Matthew Wood. Let's get him up into the booth. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Friggin' just took a bite of pizza.
And just took a bite of his pizza. Well, brother, quickly get that down. No, I'm just kidding. I'll talk here for a couple seconds and allow you to eat your pizza there real quick. Brother, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one. Obviously, we see you lead a lot of laps. You have some early battles on there with Wyatt Mickelson, and it comes down in a dramatic fashion here between the two of you here on that restart. You try to get the jump. You try to go with them right there. Unfortunately, he's able to just launch that much better and able to beat you here this afternoon. But, man, take us back through this race. Take us back through some of that craziness. And, unfortunately, that one pit stop, it seemed like you got down there, didn't get a great stop, and all of a sudden you end up restarting back in, 11th, 12th, somewhere back there, and just seemed like you had a tough time trying to get back up through some of that traffic, and luckily enough, a couple of those caution flags opens up a couple doors for you, and you are still able to come home in second.
That pit stop killed my race. And the weird thing is, I stopped where I normally stop, and I was under the sign, but I said I was too far forward, so I pop it in reverse, and I didn't even have to move. It just automatically started, like it stalled, and then I put it in reverse, and it automatically started pitting me. I don't... Another stupid thing with iRacing, but whatever. Yeah, after that, I was really tight. I started making my way back through, and then hit the apron, hit the wall, and that's why I wasn't able to get back up there, is because I hit the wall and broke the right front. I was just struggling to keep it on track, and then that caution was a lucky break. Because had that not happened, I don't know if I would have been able to get back up there. But then Brian, Brian had what was coming to him, I think. Every time I'd go below him, he'd just hang it on my right rear. As I go to the outside, he'd kind of nudge me up the track. Not like physically, but it just moved me up the track, aero blocked me. I was getting just so frustrated. I was about to punt him, but I didn't. But then those two got to racing. I don't know what I think it was the 75 is who was racing, but I don't know what he was doing, trying to send it back down the inside in turn 3 and try to ship Brian. And then Brian tries a side draft and wrecks him and takes out Grant. But I don't know. I feel like that was kind of uncalled for, personally. But yeah, good win to Wyatt. He drove one heck of a race, but I definitely think a lot of mistakes from me, notably hitting the wall and sliding through my pit box, just absolutely cost me this race.
Yeah, absolutely. A fast car, a fast ride all afternoon, and just those couple simple mistakes all of a sudden takes out of that race. We talked about it early on in the show here this afternoon, that you got to minimize those mistakes, and if you're going to have them, you got to have them early on. If you do them late in the race, it can take you out of an opportunity to pick up a dub in a quick hurry, and that's exactly what happened to you. But somehow or another, you were still able to battle back there. A couple of those caution flags helping you out late in this race, and you are still bringing it home with a very solid, respectable second place finish here in a great fashion, in a great battle there, able to be able to park it here in position number 2, trying to hunt down that 51 ride of Wyatt Mickelson, vice versa of what happened there on stage number 1, as he was right there trying to hunt you down, was able to get through inside, and you guys go door to door back down across the line. You were able to win that stage and, you know, show that speed all evening long, but coming up one spot shy when it mattered most.
Yeah, just again, I mean, I think Noah. I mean, he didn't specifically make this scheme for me. I just kind of took it. But he makes all my schemes. This one looked great, so I ran it. Think everybody did a good job racing today. Besides Brian. No, I love you, Brian. But yeah, thank you for what you do. Thank the Lord for what He's done for me. I got to take the SAT this week. So, well, I'm a sophomore, so PSAT, I guess. But then it'll be easy sailing from there, hopefully. But get to go and test all week, and whatever else I do, I'll be tired by the end of it.
Absolutely, brother, for certain. Well, good luck on your PSATs. I'm not sure. We don't do those up here in Canada, but at least I don't think we do. I don't know. I didn't go to college or university.
No,
so
that's a United States
I was
thing.
Gonna say,
so.
I'm pretty sure it's a U.S. thing. But Matthew, good luck on those, brother. Have some fun. Enjoy the rest of this afternoon, and hopefully, enjoy a solid second place run. Some great points on the day, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Sunday, maybe one spot better and up into victory lane yourself.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Matthew Wood, as Wood comes home in position number 2 as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher. It's Aiden Lucas. Aiden coming home there in position number 3. Let's pull him up here into the broadcast booth here in this one. Aiden, a solid run, solid drive there. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Aiden, it's Aaron up here, the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
How you doing?
Not too bad, Aiden, man. Another solid run, another solid drive here for you. Obviously, getting into a couple incidents, a couple mistakes out there on the racetrack, but you're able to battle back through it, drive your way back up here towards the front of the field, and being right there at the tail end of that wild battle, poking your nose in there a couple times late in this race. Is you can throw a blanket over you and pretty much the top 7, top 8 out there on the racetrack in those closing laps until that final caution flag came out. Then you had a golden opportunity there on the green-white checkered. Unfortunately, just did not get the restart you were hoping for. Fell back into 3rd, and that's where you had to settle in here this afternoon, man. Take us back through this race and kind of what's going through your mind as you park down here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, the conditions were really weird. It was super tight, and then it was super loose. Just battling that all day. And, yeah, it was close there at the end. I just never, the whole race, I couldn't get around Wyatt. So he deserved a win today. There was that little incident at the end, but, he's still got it.
Yeah, absolutely. He still got it. He was able to take that lead down the back straightaway before that contact, and the chaos ensued there behind him. But man, oh man, oh man, he ran a great race. But you guys back there battling hard, man. Take us back through that. What was kind of going through your mind as you see, basically all top 6, 7, 8 drivers there right on top of each other, 3 by 3 out there on the racetrack, slipping and sliding, moving around, going from the high side to the bottom side, making big moves out there. What was kind of going through your mind at that moment in time, watching and being a part of that battle?
Yeah, we are in Vegas, so it's just like pulling slots, just trying to figure out which lane to go to and to fill and seeing which one's moving forward at that time.
Yeah, and unfortunately for a couple drivers, they ran out of change, and unfortunately they had to crash out, but you guys were able to continue to battle on, trying to chase that jackpot. And for Wyatt Mickelson, he was able to cash in, and you were able to get at least a minor out there on the Speedway, a minor jackpot, and able to cash in and survive and be able to steal a solid third-place run here this afternoon. Aiden, who would you like to thank for another great run and great drive out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, just want to thank Wheel to Wheel guys for putting this on, and thank you for broadcasting for us, buddy.
Absolutely, always my pleasure. Aiden, congrats on the great run, congrats on the top 3 performance, and hopefully back out there on the racetrack next week, and we'll see you back up here into the broadcast booth a couple more times.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Beauty, enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Aiden Lucas, our third place finisher here this evening. A great run, a great drive there for him as he parks that 34 right up into position number 3. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here this afternoon, man. Some great racing, some great battles out there on the racetrack. And if you guys enjoyed the show here this evening, even if you're re-watching the broadcast or you're just tuning in, make sure you guys do us a solid favor here. It costs absolutely nothing. It's absolutely free to do and helps out the stream a ton. Hit the like button on the broadcast right now. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that share button if you're feeling courteous, but make sure you definitely hit that follow or subscribe button. If you're watching over on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, become part of the Peacemaker family here today and turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, showing the love here all evening long. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. I can't thank you guys enough for showing up and showing out here this evening as race number 2 into the history books here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, man. And it was one heck of a wild one, man. This is one for the history books. That is for certain, as these guys put on a hell of a show for us here in Sin City. But that's going to do it for us here in this one. We can't thank you guys enough for the amazing support and love here this evening, and we'll see you guys back in action tomorrow night as we'll be back into battle. The NASCAR trucks going to work tomorrow afternoon in the Metalheads Truck Series, and that's going to be a lot of fun. As Hayes Kemp says, night man, have a good week. I'll see you next weekend. Hopefully both of Wyatt and I can get on into the top 5 together. Yeah, that would be great, man. That'd be absolutely amazing. As Mike C says, good job tonight. I appreciate that, Mike. Good job by all these drivers. Good job by everybody all around, man. Hell of a night, hell of a show, hell of a broadcast here, man. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Mike C, I appreciate that, brother, and we can't wait to see you guys back in here in the comment section cheering these guys on. Even if you don't know anyone in tomorrow night's series or any of our other broadcasts, come in, show some love, just hit the like button, drop a hello or how you doing up in the comments section there, and maybe watch for a minute or two, help us out here on the channel, and just show the love and support for myself, not only just the drivers that are out there on the racetrack, but just for myself coming in and showing that love for a couple minutes. Really helps out every single one of our broadcasts and us continue to grow here on Peacemaker Gaming. We'll see you guys back in here tomorrow night just before 8 o'clock Eastern time for some more amazing racing action. But thank you all for watching, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Turbocharged heart, piston pumping like a beast. Black top jungle, feast on chaos, crave the grease. 180 miles of asphalt ain't forgiven. In this chaos driven life, only the fearless living. Checkered flag visions, adrenaline addiction. Metal chorus blare, ain't no friction fiction. Drafting on the homies, camaraderie's the trigger. Slides on the track, bombs ready, yeah we bigger. Brother dreams, chasing speed and money. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, with fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Hit stop, hustle, seconds ticking like grenades. Oil stained glory, history never fades. Helmet and visor, it's a warrior's enchantment. Every turn a gamble, every lap a commitment. Crowds roar, amplifies high octane behavior. Victory day sharp, savoring the flavor. Wind in the helmet, destiny's a blur. Burning rubber dreams, all senses concur. Brother dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roar loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Pulling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Running from the dreams, chasing speed and light. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Turbocharged heart, piston pumping like a beast. Black top jungle, feast on chaos, crave the grease. 180 miles of asphalt ain't forgiven. In this chaos-driven life, only the fearless living. Checkered flag visions, adrenaline addiction. Metal chorus blare, ain't no friction fiction. Drafting on the homies, camaraderie's the trigger. Slides on the track, bombs ready, yeah we bigger. Burn brother dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, with fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Pit stop hustle, seconds ticking like grenades. Oil stained glory, history never fades. Helmet and visor, it's a warrior's enchantment. Every turn a gamble, every lap a commitment. Crowds roar, amplifies high-octane behavior. Victory tastes sharp, savoring the flavor. Wind in the helmet, destiny's a blur. Burning rubber dreams, all senses concur. Burn rubber dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roar loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Running up the dreams, chasing speed and light. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line.